1. In An Apology for Poetry, Sidney discusses the didactic function of poetry by comparing it to philosophy and religion. 2. According to Longinus, the two qualities that apply to great poetry are it must be the work of a genius, an inspired person. It must cause a feeling of melancholy in the reader. 3. In The Function of Criticism, T.S. Eliot attacked J. Middleton Murray and similar critics for being devotees of what he called the inner voice. 4. Shelley compared the mind in creation to a fading coal. 5. Cleanth Brooks considered paraphrasing as a heresy. 6. Empiricist linguistics is concerned with the investigation of the human mind. 7. In Noam Chomsky's definition of grammar, the two features drawn from mathematics are transformation and generation. 8. Potato is a 16th century borrowing into English from Spanish. 9. Braj B. Kachru represents the global spread of English diagrammatically as three concentric circles. 10. Randolph Quirk is the founder of the Survey of English Usage, SEU. 11. Nadine Gordimer is the author of the short story, Beethoven Was 1/16th Black. 12. The Feminine Mystique, a landmark book by feminist Betty Friedan published in 1963. 13. Sexual Politics is a 1970 book by American writer and activist Kate Millett. 14. This Bridge Called My Back, Writings by Radical Women of Color, is a feminist anthology edited by Chere Moraga and Gloria E. Anzaldea, first published in 1981. 15. Gender Trouble, Feminism and the Subversion of Identity is a 1990 book by the philosopher Judith Butler, in which the author argues that gender is a kind of improvised performance. 16. George Orwell is the author of the essay Leave, Tolstoy and the Fool. 17. Bishop Blugram's Apology by Robert Browning contains the lines, Our interests on the dangerous edge of things. The honest thief, the tender murderer, the superstitious atheist. 18. William Makepeace Thackeray edited the Cornhill magazine. 19. The Razor's Edge by Somerset Maugham Wells has its epigraph taken from the Katha Upanishad. 20. E.D. Hirsch Jr. is the author of the essay, What Isn't Literature? 21. Eric Auerbach's Ex Mimesis, 1946, ends with a chapter on Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. 22. Rover and Orinoco are written by Afra Bahn. 23. The Temptation of Saint Anthony and Therese Raquet are works written by Gustave Flaubert. 25. Literature transcends the limits of the age of its origin and so is timeless. Literature is devoid of any purpose to enhance life or promote human values. These two conform to liberal humanist thought. 25. Mythos of Spring, Comedy, Mythos of Autumn, Tragedy conform to Northrop Frye's typology of literature. 26. A.D. Hope addresses Shakespeare, Marvell, Donne, Milton, Tennyson, Heine, Yeats, Mallarmé, and Auden, through his poetic responses in A Book of Answers. 27. The two true statements according to the documentation style prescribed by the 8th edition of the MLA Handbook are, if the title page of a book contains an imprint as well as the publisher's name, omit the imprint and use the publisher's name. While giving a URL, copy it from the web browser but omit http:// or https://. 28. Crisis of meaning and circulation of meaning are highlighted in relation to specific historical moments by Stephen Greenblatt. 29. R.S. Crane and Elder Olson belong to the Chicago School of Critics. 31. A Valediction, Forbidding Mourning contains John Donne's famous conceit bringing a parallel between lovers and the hands of a compass. 32. The Philosophy of Composition is an 1846 essay written by American writer Edgar Allan Poe that elucidates a theory about how good writers write when they write well. 33. The Art of Fiction, a critical essay by Henry James, was published in 1884 in Longman's Magazine. 34. Modern Fiction is an essay by Virginia Woolf. The essay was published in the Times Literary Supplement on the 10th of April 1919 as Modern Novels, then revised and published as Modern Fiction in the Common Reader. 35. The Function of Criticism is an influential 1923 essay by T.S. Eliot. 36. The Review, a newspaper founded by Daniel Defoe in 1704. 37. The Tatler was a British literary and society journal begun by Richard Steele in 1709 and published for 2 years. 38. The Spectator was a daily publication founded by Joseph Addison and Richard Steele in England, lasting from 1711 to 1712. 39. The Rambler was a periodical by Samuel Johnson. The Rambler was published on Tuesdays and Saturdays from 1750 to 1752 and totals 208 articles. 40. The Critical Review was a British publication appearing from 1756 to 1817. It was first edited by Tobias Smollett, from 1756 to 1763. 4.1. The Examiner was a weekly paper founded by Lee and John Hunt in 1808. 4.2. Postmodern narratives focus on the indeterminate and unstable nature of textuality and subjectivity. 43. Postmodern narrative acts regard narratives and characters as tentative representations of writing and identity. 44. In Waiting for Godot, it is Vladimir who questions the boy who comes from Godot towards the end of the two acts. 45. In Waiting for Godot, it is Estragon who says, "Nothing happens, nobody comes, nobody goes, it's awful." 46. New Historicism stipulates that teleological connotations of history have to be eschewed. 47. New Historicism neither denies nor accepts totalizing explanations of historical events. 48. Yorick in Hamlet was a jester. 49. Phoneme refers to a sound that is associated with a particular meaning. 50. Jacob Marley appears as a ghost in Dickens's A Christmas Carol.